Good morning. Welcome to Sebring Slot Cars.
Yellow flag.
We're starting our first race of the day. We have
Ready.
Parsons on purple, Steve Madison on black, Jim Bell on green.
Go.
Chad Langless on yellow. Joe Trimper on red, Henry Hake on orange, Phil Yoder on white, and Bob McGill on blue. This is Bob's first race. So here we go to racing. Currently, we have Steve Madison in the lead, Jim Bell in second place, Don Parsons in. Don just came off. Well, got a screw out on Don's car. All right, we got Steve Madison in the lead with 22 laps at heat. Jim Bell in second place with 21. We have Chad Langless in third place with 20. Henry Hake 20 also. Joe Trimper, Don Parsons tied at 19. Bob Regilla and at 18, and I can't read the name. Bridge now. All right, Jim Bell, Steve Madison's still in the lead, okay, and Jim Bell's still in second place. Got a pretty good run with those two. Steve is on yellow, Jim Bell is on blue. Very nice. Yep. I got to come together with a game plan this afternoon on U-Haul and everything we're doing. I'm going to try to see if they got them up there and I can just reserve one online. Yeah. All right. We got Jim Bell, Steve Madison in the lead with 43 each. Chad Langless in third place with 41. Don Parsons and Joe Trimper at 38. Henry Hake at 39. Phil Yoder 37. Bob Regilla at 35. So there's your lap times and everything. Segment laps at heat. Jim Bell picked up a lap on Steve Madison, so that put him in the same lap as Steve, and I think Jim may be ahead. Let me see where the two cars are. They're right there together, man. Jim Bell's ahead by about 12 inches, it looks like. Blue. We got plenty of car marshals today. All right, Jim Bell's on purple. It looks like Jim and Steve are still tied on laps. Steve just took the lead from Jim. Steve's at 50 and Jim just turned 50. So there's a few foot lead. Steve is on orange and Jim Bell's on purple. So the orange looking car out there is Steve, and Jim Bell's running a Budweiser Jaguar, I believe, or Castrol Jaguar on the purple lane. So this is Steve coming up. Steve just went by, now Jim Bell just went by, and that's the difference, is about a 3/8 of a lap difference. All right, Steve Madison about a half a lap ahead of Jim Bell. there went Steve by just now. Jim Bell just went by. 5 seconds left. Looked like Henry Hake just rolled. Oh, nope, that was Bob Gregilla just rolled off on the lead on. So here's your standings. We have Steve Madison in the lead with 64, Jim Bell 63. Don Parsons third with 59. Joe Trimper with 58. Good driving there, Joe. Henry Hake 57. Phil Yoder 56. And I can't read who's at the bottom. Bob Gregilla, okay. Who's at the bottom with 56 also, I believe. Laps that segment. Steve Madison and Don Parsons each with 21. Jim Bell, Chad Langlois, and Joe Tripper all with 20. Phil Yoder with 19, Henry Hake 18, and Bob Gregilla, I think with 18 also. So they couldn't do it. Just put it on. No track call. No track call. You got two marshals right there.
Yellow flag. Go.
Yeah, we're going to do it on the next heat.
1 minute left.
Yeah.
It's already 9 o'clock.
Heat over. Steve Madison pulling away with the lead. Steve with 85, Jim Bell 83. Chad Langlois 80. Chad's only raced with us a couple of weeks. Then we got Joe Trimper at 78, Don Parsons 78, Phil Yoder 75, and Bob Langlois 74. Laps that segment. Steve Madison 21, Jim Bell 20, Joe Trimper, Henry Hake each with 20 also, Don Parsons, Chad Langlois, Phil Yoder, and Bob all with 19 it looks like. Fast lap goes to Jim Bell with a 5.516, or excuse me, 5.510, forgive me. Quick hands, guys, quick hands. Oh, I didn't see that. He knew I wouldn't see it.
Yellow flag. Go. Halfway through the race. 1 minute left. Yellow flag. Go.
Only problem with that is there was a car right behind it. That thing just skated out. I wonder if that braid needs to be rolled over there. Orange just skated out on the donut. It wasn't even going that fast. There he goes.
20 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left.
All right, into heat. Let's see what we got.
Heat over.
All right. Steve Madison just coming off a red with the lead at 106, so he'll be smooth sailing from here. Jim Bell second place with 104. Chad Langlois third place with 101. We got Don Parsons, Joe Trimper tied at 97. Henry Hake at 96. Phil Yoder 95, and Bob Gugilla at 87. Fast lap goes to Jim Bell, Mr. Bell again with a 5.531. Laps that segment. Steve Madison, Jim Bell, Chad Langlois all with 21. Don Parsons, Joe Trimper, Henry Hake all with 19. Phil Yoder with 20, and Bob Gugilla with 18, I believe. I heard that before.
You get them tires made?
What tires? Yeah, we did.
Did you? How'd they come out?
Came out good. Yeah, there's some of them probably on the track already.
They work good? You glue them and drill them, or?
Track.
Yellow. Go. Halfway through the race. 1 minute left.
I don't know, but it came out of a slot. We'll see which one has the most trouble. Heat over. All right. Steve Madison, 127. Jim Bell, 124. Chad Langlois, 122 in third place. We got Don Parsons at 116 in fourth. We got Phil Yoder, Henry Hake tied fifth with 116 each. We got a three-way tie for fifth. We got Joe Tremper, Henry Hake, and Phil Yoder all tied. And Bob Gurgilla at the bottom of the roster with, looks like 109 or something, I can't tell. Who car, did anybody know? Fast lap, Jim Bell with a 5.502. Fastest is not always first. You've got to keep these cars in the slot. Laps that segment, Steve Madison and Chad Langlois both 21. Jim Bell, Phil Yoder each with 20. Don Parsons and Henry Hake each with 19. Joe Tremper 18, and Bob Gagilla, I could not see his numbers. So we're getting ready to fire off another heat. Let's go to racing. Where's that at?
It's up in Engleman, Pennsylvania. They've got over 40 entered for the NSR Global race.
Okay.
Basically a stock class, stock gearing, silicone tires, and you can add weight to it.
Track.
Go. Yellow flag.
Go. As you can tell, normally this end of the track is the one with all the action. Rarely do we have people come off on the bank unless they got really loose tires. That was Joe Tremper that came off there coming out of the donut. That was Bob Gagilla came off on the donut. Again, this is Bob's first race, and he's feeling the pressure of being a newbie. So he's actually doing pretty good overall. That was Joe Tremper again. He came off on the donut. Joe was doing really good early. If he can hold it back together, he may place on the podium. That was Bob Gagilla on the donut again. That red lane is tight, and he's not used to it.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds left.
There, you got it good there. You got it good there. Okay, heat over. Let's see what we got.
Over.
All right, we got Steve Madison leading with 148, Jim Bell at 145, Chad Langlois 142, Phil Yoder 135, Joe Tremper, Henry Hake, Don Parsons all 134, and Bob Gagilla 123. Laps that segment. Steve Madison and Jim Bell each with 21. Chad Langlois, Phil Yoder each with 20. Henry Hake, Joe Tremper with 19, Don Parsons 18, and Bob Gagilla with 17. Fast lap goes to Steve Madison with a 5.606. Jim Bell and Chad Langlois tied with a 5.718, and Phil Yoder a 5.955. Joe Tremper a 5.823. Don a 5.992, and Chad I can't read, he's off the screen. That was your leader that came off over there on the lead on just a moment ago. He's still okay though. He's still 4 laps ahead of Jim Bell. Jim's stuck on red on this last heat. That always makes it a little less fun for the driver on red, because he knows he's not going to gain anything on anybody normally. All you can do is hang on to what you got. Race over. All right. Close enough. All right, let me get y'all now. All right, thank you guys.